Chosen one, anchor your spirit to every word I am about to speak. That quiet ache you've been carrying, the one that has no name but lives somewhere between your chest and your throat, stop pushing it down. I need you to feel it for one more moment, because I am about to tell you exactly what it means. The enemy has been working overtime this week for one reason, and one reason only. He knows that you have just completed something that cost you more than anyone around you will ever understand. And he is terrified of what comes next. It all shifts now. The drought, the waiting, the seasons of pouring out with nothing coming back. It ends here. But listen closely, because this is the part that matters most. It is not ending because of luck. It is not ending because God finally decided to notice you. It is ending because of what you have done. Think back to that moment this week, or maybe last week, when you were pushed to a place where the old version of you would have broken. Maybe you held your tongue when everything in you wanted to speak. Maybe you chose to forgive when no one was watching, and no one would have blamed you for holding on. Maybe you simply kept showing up to your prayer, to your practice, to your life, even when the silence from heaven felt unbearable. You thought that was just survival. But let me reframe your entire reality right now. That was graduation. That was the final examination of a soul lesson that has been in session for longer than you realize. And you passed. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. God did. This is a divine appointment written into the architecture of your life before you took your first breath. You are standing at a threshold that most people never reach, not because they are not chosen, but because they do not finish what this season requires. You finished it. Stay until the very last second of this message, because in the next few minutes I am going to hand you the spiritual verdict that confirms what your soul has already been sensing. I am going to walk you through the exact transition that happens when a chosen one completes a major soul lesson. What unlocks, what opens, what begins to move. And at the end, I am going to give you a declaration that seals this new season in place and locks the door on everything that was holding you back. Do not click away. Your future self, the one living in the abundance and the love you have been praying for, is watching this moment. And they are asking you to stay. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. The atmosphere has been unusual, not bad exactly, but charged, like something is on the edge of shifting but has not shifted yet, like you are standing in the last few seconds before a storm breaks and the air is so still it almost feels wrong. Maybe you woke up at 3 in the morning this week and could not explain why. Your heart was not racing. You were not afraid, but something pulled you out of sleep, as if someone had called your name in a room you could not see. Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe you have been sleeping more than usual, and even when you wake up you feel a heaviness in your body that rest does not seem to touch. A tiredness that has nothing to do with how many hours you slept. Or perhaps you found yourself crying this week, and you could not tell if the tears were grief or relief. Like something inside you was releasing a weight it had been carrying for a very long time. Like your spirit knew something your mind had not yet received the report on. You feel like you are in between who you were and who you are about to become, between the life that just ended and the one that has not yet fully appeared. And in that in-between space, the enemy has been planting a very specific lie. Listen to your thoughts, and you will recognize it. He has been telling you that the reason wealth has not arrived, the reason deep love has not arrived, is because you are not quite ready. He has been replaying every mistake, every moment you stumbled in this last season, every time you fell short of who you were trying to be. And he has been building a case. His argument is this: you did not pass the test. You are still in the lesson. The blessing is still on the other side of something you have not done yet. And if you wait long enough, you will start to believe him. but I need you to hear what the Word of God actually says about this moment. Romans 8:18 says, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed in us." Listen to that. The glory is not something you are still working toward. It is something that is being revealed. Present tense, active tense, right now tense. The weight you have been carrying was not punishment. It was preparation, and preparation has a completion point. You have reached it. The soul lesson you just finished was not a small one. It asked you to love without a guarantee of being loved back. It asked you to trust in a season where you could not see the evidence of that trust. It asked you to release control at the exact moment when everything in you wanted to grip tighter. And somewhere in the middle of this last season, in one of those quiet moments that no one applauded and no one recorded, you let go. That was not weakness. That was the act that moved heaven. The heaviness you feel right now is not the weight of failure. It is the weight of completion. It is what a harvest feels like before it is lifted. It is what the last page of a long chapter feels like before you turn it. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are finished with what this season required. And what comes next has a name. It has two names: wealth and love. Not as rewards handed to you from a distance, but as the natural inheritance of a soul that did the work and passed through the fire without losing its nature. The door that is opening now is not the same door you have been knocking on. That door was part of the lesson. This door is different. This one opens from the inside. In the next 24 hours, one of two things will happen. Either you will wake up tomorrow morning with the same silence, the same heaviness, the same distance from God, or you will wake up to a prophetic word written as if God is speaking directly to your situation. That is what the inner sanctum delivers every morning for 365 days. Both paths are available right now, but only one of them is still open. Check the first pinned comment before this video ends. And now I need to tell you what actually happens when a chosen one completes a soul lesson. Because most people have been taught that breakthrough looks like doors flying open and heaven raining down overnight. A sudden, dramatic shift where all hardship vanishes and immediate abundance manifests. We have been conditioned to anticipate a grand spectacle, a celestial fireworks display signaling the end of our trials and the beginning of effortless glory. But that is not what the scripture shows us. That is not what the pattern woven through divine narratives reveals. And if you have been waiting for that particular, often idealized version of breakthrough, if your expectation has been tethered to a Hollywood ending, it may be precisely why you have not recognized that yours has already begun. Quietly, precisely, and with profound spiritual purpose. Look at what happened to Joseph the moment his prison season ended. His journey was a cruel masterpiece of betrayal, false accusation, and seemingly endless waiting. He had been cast into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, wrongly imprisoned, and then forgotten by those he helped. For years, the walls of his cell were his only companions, the silence his constant teacher. His release did not arrive with a grand announcement. No trumpet blast echoing through the palace courtyards, heralding his vindication. It did not end with an apology from his brothers, a long-awaited letter from his father Jacob, or a parade through the streets of Egypt. No, the catalyst for his liberation was far more subtle, yet infinitely more powerful. It ended with a dream. A quiet, invisible act happening in the spirit realm, Pharaoh's sleep being disturbed by a series of vivid, unsettling images, an event that Joseph knew absolutely nothing about until the moment he was suddenly, urgently needed. His breakthrough did not arrive with a preliminary warning, a gentle tap on the shoulder from destiny. It arrived with a summons, an immediate call to step into a destiny for which he had been rigorously, painstakingly prepared. And in the space of a single, divinely orchestrated conversation, interpreting Pharaoh's mysterious visions, everything his suffering had been building toward was activated. The pit of Dothan, the betrayal by his own kin, the false accusation by Potiphar's wife, the years of silent anguish in the dungeon, none of it was wasted. Every tear, every moment of despair, every injustice, every lonely night was not merely endured, but meticulously curated. All of it was curriculum, a divine syllabus designed to forge within him the wisdom, resilience, integrity, and discerning spirit required for the monumental task ahead. And when the curriculum was irrevocably complete, when every lesson was mastered and every facet of his character polished, heaven moved without asking Joseph's permission or consulting his human timeline. The divine orchestration was flawless, precise, and utterly independent of Joseph's external circumstances until the exact moment of manifestation. That is precisely what is happening right now in your life, in this very moment. You are not idly waiting for God to suddenly decide to act. God is already acting. There is a magnificent, intricate movement happening in the invisible realm, a celestial choreography of destiny that has already been set into motion, and you have not yet received the full report on its progress. Consider it like the deep, silent currents of a vast ocean, or the slow, powerful shifting of tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface, unseen, unheard, yet profoundly impactful and ultimately world-shaping. And what I need you to understand, with utmost clarity and spiritual discernment, is that the way you position yourself in the next few days, the subtle shifts in your perspective, your belief, and your spiritual posture, will determine how quickly and smoothly what has already been released and established in the spirit becomes visible, tangible, and undeniable in the natural realm of your experience. The first and perhaps most critical thing that has to shift within you is how you are interpreting the silence that has surrounded you. You have been conditioned, perhaps by past disappointments or societal narratives, to read the silence as absence. You've allowed the quiet to suggest that nothing is happening, that the stillness means God has not heard your fervent prayers, or worse, that the agonizing lack of visible movement is undeniable evidence against your breakthrough rather than, as it often is, profound evidence of its exquisite precision and divine timing. But silence in Scripture, and indeed in the grand tapestry of spiritual truth, is almost never emptiness. It is almost always an intensely fertile ground, a period of profound preparation and foundational building. Think of the Genesis account. Before creation itself burst forth in glorious light and life, there was darkness and void, a silent canvas upon which God's masterpiece was about to be painted. Before the miraculous parting of the Red Sea, the Israelites stood trapped, their backs against the roaring waves, facing what felt like an absolute, inescapable dead end, a suffocating silence of impending doom. Yet it was the very stage for God's most dramatic deliverance. Before Lazarus was called out of the grave, before life surged back into his lifeless body, Jesus stood at a sealed tomb and wept. Not because he lacked the power to resurrect his friend, for his authority over life and death was absolute, but because he felt the immense human weight of the moment fully, the depth of human grief and the profound tension before he moved through it with divine power. The silence you have been dwelling in is not a dead end, leading nowhere but further despair. It is not an empty void where God has forgotten you. No, the silence you have been in is a sealed tomb, a sacred chamber where something profound has been gestating, meticulously held and prepared. And something extraordinary, something miraculous, is about to be called out of it into glorious manifestation. But here is where it goes deeper, venturing beyond mere reinterpretation. Because it is not enough to simply reinterpret the silence and acknowledge its purpose. You have to profoundly understand what was being formed inside you, precisely what sacred architecture and divine character were being forged, while everything outside appeared quiet, still and dormant. In the natural world, there is a powerful, often overlooked process called deep formation. It happens underground, in the profound darkness, under immense, unyielding pressure, over long, often imperceptible periods of time, with absolutely no visible evidence on the surface that anything significant is happening at all. Yet, what is being formed during that hidden, arduous process is the most structurally sound, the most durable, the most resilient, and ultimately, the most valuable material on Earth. Consider the diamond, forged from mere carbon under unimaginable heat and pressure deep within the Earth's mantle, or the ancient geological processes that produce rich veins of gold and precious minerals, or the vast, intricate root systems of an old-growth forest, silently anchoring monumental trees against any storm. The pressure you experienced was not destroying you, it was defining you, compacting your essence into something unbreakable. The darkness was not hiding you, it was a sacred incubator, shielding you from premature exposure and refining your inner vision. The silence was not abandoning you, it was a divine crucible, allowing for an alchemy of the soul that requires stillness. It was forming you into something that ordinary, superficial seasons cannot produce, a version of yourself that is robust, discerning, and deeply rooted. And crucially, what is coming into your life now, the unparalleled blessings, the significant assignments, the next level of your divine purpose, requires the version of you that was built in the dark. The wealth that is moving toward you, not merely financial, but spiritual and relational wealth. The love that is moving toward you, a profound connection forged in authenticity and truth. They require a foundation, an inner scaffolding that shallow, untried seasons simply cannot create. You had to go through what you went through, endure the trials, walk through the fires, navigate the bewildering wilderness, because what is coming requires someone who has been through it, someone whose character has been tested, tempered, and proven. It requires a soul seasoned by the journey, not one untouched by the crucible. And this profound insight leads us to something most people miss entirely, a subtle trap they fall into precisely when they are stepping out of a long, arduous season of deep preparation and the first glimpses of light appear. There is a powerful, almost instinctive temptation in the moment when things finally begin to shift, when the first crack appears in the sealed tomb, to rush. To compensate for the time you feel you lost, for the years that seem to stretch into an eternity of stagnation. To move at breakneck speed, to sprint through every opening, because the waiting was so long, the ache of deferred hope was so deep, and now that the door is finally opening, you desperately want to sprint through it before it closes again, before the opportunity vanishes like a mirage. But we are given a timeless lesson from the prophet Elijah. After the dramatic, overwhelming displays of divine power on Mount Carmel, after the exhausting confrontation with the prophets of Baal, and subsequently, after experiencing the raw, terrifying force of a great wind that tore through mountains, an earthquake that shook the foundations, and a raging fire that consumed everything in its path, Elijah heard God not in any of those dramatic, spectacular movements. He heard him in the still, small voice, in the delicate, almost imperceptible whisper. 1 Kings 19:11-12. He found divine counsel in the deliberate pause, in the profound quietude that settled after everything dramatic had passed, and there was nothing left but a gentle, resonant whisper. Your next, most crucial, most impactful move is in that whisper. It is not found in the frenetic rush to catch up. It is not found in the desperate compensation for perceived lost time. It is found in the quiet, deliberate, spirit-led step that emanates from a place of deep, abiding peace, rather than frantic, fear-driven panic. It is a pace set by divine alignment, not human anxiety. Now stay with me, because what is coming next is the part that most people are not prepared to hear. A truth that often collides with deeply ingrained expectations. And yet, it is the part that determines everything, distinguishing those who fully receive from those who remain on the precipice of their blessing. You have been praying for wealth, not just material riches, but abundance in every sphere of your life, spiritual, relational, creative. You have been praying for love, for connection that is deep, true, and resonant. And both of those things, precisely what your soul has longed for, are powerfully moving toward you, converging on your timeline. But I need to tell you what specific form they are going to arrive in, what unique packaging they will wear, because if you do not recognize the authentic form of your blessing, if you are looking for an idealized, imagined version, you will tragically miss them. You will be searching for the picture you constructed in your mind, and they will show up looking like something so ordinary, so unexpected, so subtly disguised, that you will almost dismiss them entirely as inconsequential. Wealth rarely arrives as a sudden, dramatic windfall, a lottery ticket moment, or a giant suitcase of cash falling from the sky in a season like this. That kind of instant gratification often bypasses the deep formation that has prepared you. Instead, it arrives as an idea, a flicker of inspiration, a creative spark that holds within it the blueprint for immense value. It arrives as a conversation, a seemingly casual remark from a friend, a chance encounter, a networking connection that opens an unexpected avenue. It arrives as a door that looked entirely too ordinary, too unassuming, too mundane to be significant, perhaps even a door that seems inconveniently placed or slightly rusty. It arrives wrapped in something that critically requires your honed discernment and your cultivated courage. Because the enemy knows that if he cannot stop the blessing from reaching you, if he cannot outright block the divine flow, his most potent strategy is to try and make you overlook it, to dismiss it as not enough or not what you envisioned. He can dress it in the wrong packaging, making it appear unattractive or unremarkable. He can arrange for it to arrive at an inconvenient time when you are tired, distracted, or overwhelmed. He can send it through a person you were not expecting, a messenger who doesn't fit your preconceived notions of divine delivery, in a form that absolutely requires your faith to see past the superficial surface, to perceive the divine intention beneath the ordinary exterior. This is why clarity matters profoundly more than sheer effort right now. You do not need to work harder in this next season, exhausting yourself in a frantic chase. You need to see more clearly, to listen more intently, to discern the subtle whispers of opportunity, and to recognize the divine signature on the unexpected. And love in this next season is not arriving as the idealized, saccharine fairy tale version you may have carefully constructed during your lonely nights, the fantastical image of perfection that often only exists in daydreams. It is arriving as something far more real, more grounded, more potent, and infinitely more transformative than that fleeting illusion. It is arriving as a mirror. It is arriving in the form of someone who sees the version of you that was painstakingly built in the dark, the authentic, refined, resilient, and deeply wise self that emerged from the crucible of your trials, and they recognize it as truly rare, truly valuable, truly beautiful. But you will only be able to receive that kind of profound, soul-affirming love, that deep resonance of recognition, if you have truly stopped performing the version of yourself you thought people needed to see, the persona you presented to protect your vulnerability. You must shed that mask and start standing fully, bravely, vulnerably in the authentic identity that was actually forged and revealed in this challenging season. The love that is coming is not for who you were before this season began, the person who was perhaps softer, less wise, less tested. It is for who you became inside it, the magnificent, whole, and deeply authentic being who navigated the wilderness and emerged transformed. And what I am about to say next is the part that consistently breaks the cycle for most chosen ones, the hidden truth that unlocks stagnant patterns and allows for true liberation. So stay with me, deeply present in this moment. There is something potent, something fundamental, churning beneath the surface of your waiting, a subconscious agreement that needs to be consciously named, brought into the light, and deliberately released. Because there has been a subtle, insidious pattern running quietly, consistently, like an unseen current in the background of your life, a protective mechanism that has been inadvertently intercepting and diverting blessings that were already released from heaven, blessings that were literally on their way to you. This isn't a demon in the conventional sense. It is not a generational curse in the way most people think of them, as an external force. It is, rather, a vow you made without realizing you made it, a silent internal contract forged in pain. At some pivotal point in this journey, possibly very early in this current season of trial, or perhaps in a much earlier, equally formative one, you experienced a profound emotional blow, a searing pain. At the exact moment something good, something hopeful, something truly desired was about to arrive or seemed within your grasp. And in that moment, in the raw aftermath of that disappointment or betrayal, your soul made a decisive, protective decision. Not out loud, not consciously articulated with words, but somewhere deep, in a primal place beneath language and logical thought. You decided that hoping too much was inherently dangerous. You concluded that allowing yourself to truly expect, to lean into anticipation with an open heart, merely opened you up to being devastated again, to the soul-crushing disappointment of another false start. You decided, in that moment of profound hurt, that it was safer to hold your expectation at arm's length, to keep your hopes veiled, to protect yourself with a subtle shield against the inevitable sting of future letdowns. And so, when the blessing arrived, or more accurately, when it tried to arrive, when it knocked on the door of your life, you were already unconsciously defended against it. You called this internal barricade by many names that felt spiritually valid and wise. You called it discernment, a prudent caution. You called it not getting ahead of yourself, remaining grounded and realistic. You called it staying humble, not presuming. But some, if not much of it was, in fact, armor. And armor, no matter how necessary it was, no matter how vital its protection felt in the harsh season it was forged in, no matter how valiantly it shielded your tender heart from further wounds, will inevitably keep out the very thing you have been ardently asking for, the very blessing you are now prepared to receive. This, beloved chosen one, is the hidden root. This is the subtle yet potent leverage the enemy has been using against you. Not his own power, because he holds none over a soul that has passed through the refining fires and deep formation you have endured, a soul covered by covenant. Instead, he has been cunningly using your own self-protection, your very understandable human defense mechanisms, against you. He has exploited your internal vow, and now, for you to truly step into your inheritance, that unconscious contract has to be dismantled, deliberately, consciously, with full understanding and sacred intention, accepting what you are releasing and why. You are not releasing genuine wisdom, the hard-won insights gained from your journey. You are not releasing true discernment, the spiritual clarity that protects you from genuine deception. No, you are specifically releasing the part of you, the deep-seated agreement that stopped expecting the good thing to actually arrive, the part that closed its heart to the possibility of joy without immediate pain. And the profound reason this is the confrontation most people never arrive at, The spiritual threshold they seldom cross is because it requires you to become vulnerable again. Not reckless. There is a crucial defining difference between the two. Recklessness is the foolish act of pretending the fire cannot burn you, walking blindly into danger with an arrogant disregard for consequences. Vulnerability, on the other hand, is the courageous act of walking toward the warmth anyway, fully knowing and acknowledging that the fire can burn you, that the risk of pain is real, but choosing to trust with unwavering faith that what is on the other side, what awaits you, is profoundly worth that inherent risk. That, my dear friend, is what faith actually is at its core. It is not the absence of fear, the magical disappearance of trepidation. It is the conscious, determined decision to move forward, to take the necessary step, to open your heart, even while the fear is still undeniably present, walking hand in hand with courage. And here is the part, perhaps the most challenging truth, that will likely reframe and even challenge everything you just received, pushing you past your comfort zone into a new paradigm of divine reception. The breakthrough that is coming is not a transactional reward at the very end of your faithfulness, a prize you earn after demonstrating sufficient piety or enduring enough suffering. That framing, however noble it may sound, however spiritually virtuous it may appear, keeps you locked in a posture of earning, of deserving, of perpetually waiting to be approved, to be deemed worthy by some external metric. And that posture, however holy and striving it sounds, is still subtly rooted in performance, in the subconscious belief that you must somehow be enough, that you must qualify through your actions or your suffering before God can finally release what is rightfully, spiritually already yours. But the scripture does not say that the righteous earn their inheritance through their efforts. It says they receive it. Receiving is a completely different posture, a profoundly different energetic alignment than earning. Earning requires you to relentlessly qualify, to meet specific criteria, to prove your worthiness through diligent effort and sacrifice. Receiving, in its purest form, requires only that you open your hands, metaphorically and spiritually, in an act of surrender, trust, and humble acceptance. And somewhere, during the long, arduous stretch of this season, your hands closed. They closed not out of defiance, but perhaps out of weariness, out of a deep-seated fear of disappointment. They closed because they felt empty for so long, and holding open hands in an empty season can feel like the most vulnerable, most exposed, most painful position imaginable. But closed hands, no matter how tightly clenched in self-preservation, cannot receive the boundless blessings that are being released right now, in this very moment, from the generous hand of heaven. And right now, in this sacred moment, before this message concludes, something profound is asking you, gently yet powerfully, to open them again. Not because you have suddenly figured it all out, mastering every detail of your future. Not because every shard of pain is fully resolved and every wound completely healed. Not because you understand exactly what the next chapter looks like or have a meticulously drawn map of your destiny. No, but because your soul has completed what was divinely required. Because the preparation, the deep formation in the dark, is finished. Because the door to your next season is not opening from the outside, slowly, hesitantly, waiting for you to prove your worth and deserve entry. It is opening from the inside, from within your very being, because something fundamental, something eternal in you has already profoundly changed, shifted, and completed its sacred work. And the only thing left, the final crucial step, is for you to consciously, powerfully, and unequivocally agree with what heaven has already declared over your life, aligning your inner world with the undeniable truth of your divine inheritance. Place your hand on your heart right now. Connect deeply with the sacred space within you. Let whatever you have been carrying through this arduous season, the profound weariness that has settled into your bones, the persistent doubt that whispered insidious lies, the quiet, unspoken grief of a season that cost you more than you ever anticipated or felt it should, the heavy armor you meticulously built, piece by piece, to protect yourself from the sting of another crushing disappointment. Let all of it be present. Do not push it down. Do not resist its presence. Let it simply be here, held in the compassionate space of your awareness. And then, with full intention and sovereign authority, speak this sacred declaration over yourself, allowing each word to resonate with the truth of your spirit. I release the crushing weight of this season. I release the fear that cunningly dressed itself as wisdom, deceiving my heart. I release every unconscious vow I made in the dark, every silent agreement that told me expecting good things was dangerous, that hope would only lead to pain. I open my hands now, completely and without reservation. I open my life, fully ready to receive. I open my future to what has already been decided, affirmed, and irrevocably released in the spirit realm on my behalf. I do not earn this breakthrough through my struggles or my efforts. I receive it as a divine gift, with open hands and an open heart. I do not qualify for it through my performance, through being enough. I inherit it by divine right, through my sacred covenant with the Creator. The long drought is over. The silence has completed its profound, transformative work within me. What was exquisitely formed in me in the deep, silent dark is now ready to be revealed, unveiled, and manifested in the glorious light. Wealth is not a distant promise. It is here, manifesting, and I have eyes to clearly see it in its authentic form. Love is not a future longing. It is here, present and real, and I have the courage to deeply receive it, without armor or pretense. I step forward now, not from a place of frantic striving, but from a powerful place of arrival, of completion. I am not the person this season tried to break, shatter, or diminish. I am, unequivocally, the person this season was divinely designed to build, to refine, to strengthen, and to elevate. And I walk into what is next, fully, freely, authentically, and without apology for who I have become. That is your verdict, rendered by the highest court of heaven. That is your undeniable confirmation, a stamp of divine approval on your completed journey. That is the potent declaration that seals what this arduous season produced in you, marking it as sacred and irreversible, and decisively closes the door on every lie, every whisper, every past wound that tried to convince you that you were not enough, that you were lacking, that your efforts were in vain. If this word landed in a place that needed it, do not let this moment pass without doing something with it. Share this with someone who is in a long season and needs to know they are closer than they think. Leave a word in the comments, even one word, because there is a chosen one scrolling this page right now who needs to see that they are not alone. And if you want this kind of clarity delivered directly to your life every morning, the door to the inner sanctum is still open. Check the first pinned comment before you leave this page. Your future self, the one already living in what you have been praying for, is not waiting for you to be more. They are waiting for you to arrive.